What is up, people? It's your boy Scooty MMA. This week, we're here with UFC Perth, Fight Night, Della Maddalena versus Prates. This week is going to be so good. We got so many big names on here. We got JDM, we got Carlos Prates, we got Benil Dariush, Quillan Salkield, we got the GOAT Shamil Gaziev, we got Tai Tuivasa, and no one gives a fuck about Junior Tafa. But yeah, big names on this card. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a numbered main event by the star power this card has, but we'll take it. So without any further ado, let's get into the breakdowns. This is going to be a fun card. So the first fight of the prelim we got in our hands is Cody Steele versus Dom Street Buddha Marfan. Now, Cody Steele, he's 7-1 and he lost his debut fight in the UFC, but that fight was a fucking war. Cody Steele puts on absolute barn burners. He is a BJJ black belt, so his grappling is on another level. But this fight, why I fear he loses here, is because he's coming up against Dom Marfan. Now, Dom Marfan is also a BJJ black belt, so if this fight goes to the ground, the grappling scrambles are gonna be insane to watch. But the other advantage Marfan has over Cody Steele is the 4 inches of reach. If he keeps his distance, I believe he can pick Cody apart and grind him to a decision. But this fight is going to be insane to watch. I'm rooting for Marfan. My pick for this fight is going to be Dom Marfan by decision. Let's see it. This is going to be a very fun fight. Okay, second fight on the prelims, we got Jonathan the Captain McAuliffe against the Mamba Garimbo. Now, Jonathan McAuliffe, he's riding a 4-fight win streak. He's fairly new to the UFC, is 2-0 in the UFC right now. But this guy is a solid grappler. Like, his submissions are insane. He's coming up against the Mamba Garimbo, though. Mamba is a phenomenal wrestler. How I see this fight goes is Mamba is 35 right now. I mean, he's got a pretty solid build, but I believe McAuliffe can match that because McAuliffe is younger and more explosive. So how I see this fight goes is Mamba takes him down because he's an elite wrestler, but he's already been subbed 3 times in his career, so he's prone to those choke attempts, and I believe this is where McAuliffe thrives. So I see a quick submission attempt from McAuliffe, which leads to him getting the win. So my prediction for this fight is going to be a round 2 submission win for McAuliffe. Also, I'm riding the Australian again on this card. Home field advantage, you got to give it to him. Next up, we got Wes Party Time Schultz against Ben Johnston. For those of you who don't know Ben Johnston, he's fairly new to the UFC. This is going to be his debut fight. But this guy trains with Israel Adesanya, so you know his stand-up is insane. And this is where Wes Schultz, everything goes wrong for him. Now, Ben Johnston is a former Muay Thai world champion. Now, Wes Schultz, as good as his grappling is, his last fight, he got knocked the fuck out, and I believe this fight ends up in a similar way because Ben Johnston on the feet, there is no way Wes Schultz even survives 1 round against Ben Johnston on the feet, and I do not think he has the capability to take him down. So how I see this fight goes is Ben Johnston just slimes him the fuck out, and my prediction for this fight is a round 1 knockout for Ben Johnston. Next up, we got Colby Thickness against Vincent Morales. Now, I do not know how the odd makers have stacked this up, but I believe this is an entirely one-sided fight for Colby Thickness. Like, he's so fucking good. Like, Vincent Morales, the only weapon he has against Colby Thickness is elite grappling, but I still don't believe it's a competition to Colby Thickness. Colby trains his jiu-jitsu with Craig Jones. It does not get better than that. Colby Thickness grinds Vincent Morales to another decision. Vincent Morales is a fucking bum. He lost to Raul Rosas Jr. Like, this tells you everything you have to know about him. And the only loss Colby has is against Alexandre Topuria. And, I mean, there's no shame in losing to a fucking Topuria. So, my prediction for this fight is going to be a decision win for Colby Thickness. Let's get on to the next fight. Okay, for the next fight, we got the GOAT GM3 against Jacob Malkin. Now, GM3, no need to introduce him, just the absolute fucking GOAT. But I believe the GM3 hype train has lived its course. Now, all GM3 does in his fights is just accumulate more and more CTE. I think Jacob Malkin gets it done in staggering fashion. I believe he finds like a first round KO. Because the thing is, GM3, like, he was very durable before, had a chin, used to survive fights. But now, like, He's 38. It's just all fading away. Now he doesn't have the same chin anymore. He doesn't have that same heart in the game. So I believe Jacob Malkin finds the finish. He can outbox GN3 easily, and I believe he also has a grappling advantage over him. So as much as it hurts me to say this, my pick for this fight is going to be a round one knockout for Jacob Malkoun, but I fucking love GM3, dude. To be fair, I didn't even want to break down this fight because we already know the outcome. The Tafa brothers are so ass, they are not UFC level. You will never see me picking a Tafa brother in a fight. We got Kevin Christian by submission. This is the outcome of the fight. I am not breaking it down. Junior Tafa needs to get kicked out from the UFC. He is not elite level, and I am betting the whole house on this. Kevin Christian gets the submission win, kick Junior Tafa out of the UFC. Okay, last fight of the prelims, we got Cam Ralston against Robert Brejcik. Robert Brejcik is a fucking dog, bro. Like his stand-up game is elite. He will get in those spaces and get in those clinches with those elbows, with those punches. Basically, an all-in-all fucking dog. Got tons of heart, got tons of durability. Now, Cam Ralston, he's fighting out of city kickboxing. He trains with the likes of Alexander Volkanovski, Israel Adesanya. He's just too all-rounded. Now he has all the advantages over Robert Brejcik. He's riding a pretty solid finishing streak, but I do not believe he gets the finish here though, because Robert Brejcik, as I said, he has all the heart. I believe he can weather the storm, but just enough so that he can survive everything Cam throws at him. But Cam is always going to be one step ahead of him because he's just too elite level. Cam Ralston will take him down. He will be better on the stand up. So how I believe this fight goes is, so my prediction for this fight is going to be a decision win for Cam Ralston. I believe this is a clear 30-27 for Cam Ralston. Okay, so now we're on to the main card. We got Bam Bam Mr. Shui Tai Tuivasa against Louis Sutherland. Now, I do not know how to judge this fight. I'm hoping Tai Tuivasa gets the win, but you're never too sure with Tai Tuivasa getting the win. There's always gonna be those cardio problems. But to be fair, I admit Tuivasa is a can, right? But Louis Sutherland is a can of another level. He's even worse. And Louis Sutherland, he's coming off of a short notice. He just got knocked out last month. So all the signs are pointing towards a Tuivasa win, but if anyone can bottle a win, it's Tai Tuivasa. I hope he gets the win. I want to see one last Shui from him. And to be fair, I hope he just rides off into the sunset with this win. We do not want to see more of Tai Tuivasa. But if I had to break down this fight, it would probably be a Tuivasa round one knockout. I do not see this fight going past round two because, as I said, 80% of the heavyweight just does not have the cardio to go past the first round. And we saw what a disaster class Tuivasa's last fight was. But yeah, against Louis Sutherland, I believe he gets it done early. Hoping for a good one, boys. Hoping for a good one. So my pick is a round one knockout for Tai Tuivasa. Let's see that Shui, right? Okay, boys. Next up, we got the greatest fighter of all time, Shamil Gaziev. He's coming up against Brando Perisic. Oh boy, another Shamil Gaziev fight. Always delighted to see those. But yeah, I'm gonna be picking Brando Perisic in this fight. I believe this fight does not go past the round one either. I believe Shamil gets brutally slimed out by Brando Perisic because Brando is a finish machine. All four of his last fights have ended by knockout, and I do not see any changes coming into this fight. As much as I'll be supporting Shamil to get the win, but looking at it logically, it has to be Brando. So my pick for this fight is gonna be Brando Perisic by round one knockout. Let's see this, bro. Shamil Gaziev 5-week. Let's fucking go. Next up, we got a short notice fight. Marwan Rahiki against Ollie Schmidt. Now, just a quick notice, Ollie Schmidt just stepped in on a 4-day notice, so we got to keep this in mind while breaking down this fight. On to Marwan Rahiki. Marwan Rahiki is one of the best prospects in the featherweight division right now. He is an elite level kickboxer. He is 8-0 right now and has a 100% finish rate. He got 7 knockouts and 1 submission. So this guy is the next best thing coming out of Morocco. But he's coming up against Ollie Schmidt, who's on a 3-5 win streak on his own. He trains at City Kickboxing, so you know he has the experience fighting alongside Alexander Volkanovski, Carlos Ulberg, Israel Adesanya, just surrounded by champions, so you know he has the mentality to go the distance. But I believe Marwan is just on another level right now, and the win streak is he's just riding into the and the momentum that he's just riding onto this fight is just too intense, and I believe he takes advantage of that. So I believe he puts the pressure on Ollie Schmidt and catches him out cold with like something crazy, like and I can see him catching Ollie Schmidt with like a roundhouse kick or a crazy hook. Like he has got all the tools to finish Ollie Schmidt. So my prediction for this fight is going to be a round 1 knockout for Marwan Rahiki. I believe Marwan makes easy work out of Ollie Schmidt. So this guy is the next up to watch in the featherweight division. It's going to be a fun fight. Okay, next up we got Tim Elliott against Steve Astroboy Ersteg, the hometown hero. Now, this is a very tricky fight to call. Steve Ersteg, we know what kind of an elite fighter he is. He probably gave Alexandre Pantoja his closest fight yet. Arguably, some people say he won that fight, but I'd say Pantoja still won that fight, but it was his closest fight to date, not counting the fight with Van, of course. But Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott is an elite wrestler. He has the second most control time just behind Demetrius Johnson. So we know the wrestling is there. But the only weak point I see in his game is he's been caught in submissions too many times. And Steve Erceg, he's got 6 submission wins. Now, Steve Erceg's grappling is a very underrated part of his game that most people don't talk about. Because like in the previous fight, like in like almost like 6 or 7 of his previous fights, all he's done is like jab and teep and like basically point fight his way to decisions. But his grappling is a very underrated aspect that most people do not know about. And I believe this is the fight where we get to see his BJJ aspect. So this is a risky call, but for me, how I see this fight goes is Tim Elliott takes Steve Erceg down, and that is where I believe Erceg finds Tim Elliott's neck and takes him into the deep waters and chokes him, I believe, in round 3 or round 4. So it's a tough call, but that's my picks. My pick for the fight is Steve Erceg by a late round 3 or an early round 4 submission. It's gonna be a fun fight, and I believe this is one of those fight of the night contenders that we all love to see. Man, it's gonna be a great fight. Okay, we're on to the co-main event. We got the legend Beneil Dariush coming up against the hottest prospect in the division right now. I'd say more of like hottest prospect in the UFC right now, Krillin Salkiel, the hometown hero. Now, Beneil Dariush, like, there is no need to give an introduction to him. Beneil Dariush has been fighting killers all his career. Like, he's one to never back down from a fight. We know his grappling is elite level. He's got that knockout power, but nah, like at 36 years old, like he's taken so much damage over the years. Like the durability, the heart, the chin is just not there anymore. And we've all seen Quillen Saki. We know what kind of a finish machine he is. Like basically, he can do it all. Like earlier, we thought he was all about like crazy ass, flashy ass knockouts. But last fight, he got the submission win, and he also proved it that like there's other aspects to his game that we were not aware about. So the guy is basically an all-rounder, has flashy knockout power, has some crazy ass BJJ. And that is where I believe he gets the edge over Beneil Dariush, because if this turns into a grappling scramble, I believe Quillen Salkiel can hold on his own and make it a stand-up fight where, of course, he has the edge and finds the knockout. So my pick for this fight is going to be Quillen Salkiel by a round 2 knockout. Man, it always pains me to pick against Beneil, but Quillen Salkiel, he's just on a crazy run right now. You can't pick against him. So we're finally on to the main event. We got JDM against Carlos Prates. Now, this, like, I've heard so many varied opinions about this fight. Some said, oh, JDM is just too technical for Carlos, like, he outboxes him to a decision. And some have said, oh, Carlos knocks him out cold in the first round. And there's solid cases to be made for either option. Now, if we talk about JDM, like JDM's last showing against Makhachev was an absolute disaster class. Like Makhachev completely nullified JDM's game with his wrestling. But of course, Carlos Prates does not have that wrestling ability, so we do not need to worry about that. I believe this is going to be a soul stand-up fight between two technical boxers and kickboxers. But before that, his fight against Bilal. Now, that is the fight we need to take a closer look at. JDM took Bilal to a decision where, sure, he defended a couple of takedown attempts, like he almost nullified Bilal's wrestling game. But during those stand-up exchanges between Bilal and JDM, like they were razor thin. Like JDM did not win a clear decision against Bilal Muhammad. Like the fight could have gone either way. And if you look at JDM's face after the fight, like Bilal has, like we know Bilal does not have good boxing fundamentals. Bilal should not be able to do that to your face if you're an elite boxer. I believe this is an easy win for Carlos Prates. Sure, like JDM is an elite kickboxer, like you can't deny the head movement. And I believe JDM takes like the first, I guess, even 3 rounds. But in those championship rounds, I believe Carlos Prates just needs to find one strike and JDM is gonna be out cold. So my prediction for this fight is good, like is that JDM is gonna dominate like the first 3 or even 4 rounds. But what Carlos needs is just exactly one punch, and I believe he finds it in the latter rounds. So my pick is Carlos Prates by a round 4 or round 5 knockout. So yeah, that's it for the entire card. I'll see you next week with another card. Until then, peace.